All right. They tell us the functions here. So f of x is a linear. It's 2x minus 1. G of x is 3x. H of x is x squared plus 1. Okay, so we got linear, linear, quadratic, right? All right, if I move this to the side, listen up. All right, this is the composite that they're asking you to substitute and find the output. Okay, what you're probably accustomed to, and by the way, this is the same as this little O or a little baby circle. It's like fog. Okay, but it's f of g, but it means the same as the double parentheses. Okay, so these mean the same thing. So whether you saw it on a state test. All right, look. First take you start from the inside and you work your way out. So what I see is g of negative 3. I can do that. So what is g of negative 3? That's just substitution, but it's written in function notation. So if I find what g of x is 3x, correct? Okay, so if g of x, what did I say was 3x? Then g of negative 3 just means instead of x, substitute the value of negative 3. Yeah? So 3, but instead of x, see how x, negative 3, negative 3. So I'm going to replace every x with a negative 3 value. And then you just perform PEMDAS, order of operations, and I get negative 9. So that means that g of negative 3 outputs negative 9. Input, output. Independent variable, dependent variable. X, y, right? All right, so if they're asking for f of g of negative 3, they're telling you to first find the output value to g of negative 3, which is negative 9. So now it's asking you to find f of negative 9. It's a continuance of substitution. So if you happen to make a mistake earlier, it's a definite domino downward. Okay, so what is f of negative 9? All I did is instead of g of negative 3, g of negative 3 is equal to the output negative 9 because we substituted. So now take that output negative 9 and find f of negative 9. Well, f of x is the function 2x minus 1. So f of x is 2x minus 1. So if I want f of negative 9, 2, but in place of x, negative 9 minus 1, and so 2 times negative 9, negative 18 minus 1, negative 19. So f of g of negative 3 is negative 19. It's a double substitution, but you're getting the substitution value for the second or the third or the fourth, however many times they're giving it to you. It's coming from the prior composites. Okay, if you just have to be careful with this, but if you wanted to do it in one shot, sometimes it's easier than others. Okay, the function f is 2x minus 1, right? So it's 2x minus 1, correct? But in place of x, I'm going to substitute the g function. The g function is 3x, but instead of x, I'm plugging in negative 3. And that's really what it's asking you to do. It's asking you to take the f function, but instead of the x, substitute the g function, but instead of the x, substitute negative 3. So you can do it in parts, or here, what is 3 times negative 3? negative 9. What's 2 times negative 9? Negative 18 minus 1, negative 19. So I still got the exact same answer. Most students do it in parts, but it's up to you. Kind of? Not too bad. Okay, so look at the second one. And let's see if I can move this up. Oh, I can't move it up. It's your f of h of 7. And either you're first going to take what is the value, what's the output of h of 7. Take that output, substitute it in for f of whatever that output is, and that's your final output. So it's definitely input, output, input, output. Okay, I'm going to turn this off.